Scientists can sometimes invent things because they've seen how nature has solved a problem. That's called biomimicry. Nature and biomimicry have a large influence on architecture. Come explore 3 Idaho buildings and see biomimicry at work. This is Andy Ersted. He's a leading architect. He understands the role biomimicry plays in building design.
Gosh, nature and architecture, they're synonymous in my mind.
Our first stop is Idaho's Capitol building. The dome and central section were finished in 1912. The architects were John Tourlat and Charles Hummel. They took advantage of natural geothermal resources to heat the complex, but that's not what Ersted says stands out about this building.
The Idaho State Capitol building is a wonderful example of, in essence, of biomimicry. It was designed at the turn of the century with a number of really fantastic natural elements. There's a tremendous amount of natural daylight. Thus, the name for the Idaho Capitol building is the Capital of Light.
The place to start is by looking up at the inside of the dome.
And look up and around and you see all of the skylights bringing light in. You see light coming in from windows all the way around, and then you see the lights up on the drum of the dome, and then small lights that are artificial but nonetheless help it really enhance and brighten the space.
The Capitol building was restored to its original design in 2010. Building planners added below-ground extensions and added skylights. They're low enough that they can't be seen from the outside, but they bring in that all-important natural light.
But the other thing, the other jewel, if you will, is the fact that when you stand here, you can actually see the golden eagle up on top.
And what did the public of the early 1900s think of the idea of using nature's solutions inside a building?
They loved the fact that Tourlat spoke often about the nobility of the light and the desire to create a light-filled space that would really enhance and encourage a higher thought, a higher thinking, and a more noble thinking, as the legislators were here to do the people's business.
About 90 miles from the Capitol is the only Frank Lloyd Wright designed house in Idaho, called Teeter's Knoll.
Archie Teeter, a very well-known Idaho artist, paintings in very unique collections around the state and the country, painted these huge landscapes. When Archie asked Frank to design a place that he could use as an art studio overlooking the Snake River, Frank Lloyd Wright picked up on the native stone and the native materials and the expansive views up the Snake River.
Frank Lloyd Wright was the 20th century's most famous architect. Wright embraced new technologies and pushed the boundaries of his field. He designed with nature in mind.
In Frank Lloyd Wright's own fashion, his design was quite iconic, but it was inspired by the landscape. And you can see that when you have an opportunity to go into Teeter's Knoll and experience that, and the windows, and the shape is almost like the prow of a ship. The building was restored by a gentleman who studied architecture and really understood and had a passion for this specific building. His restoration was really wonderfully spot on. But again, nature inspired it.
And nature was the inspiration for our last building, still under construction, the Wasmuth Center for Human Rights.
The structure that is being built right now is intended to be a classroom, a meeting space, education space, and research for all aspects of human rights. The location of the building is a really unique shape. We are tucked into an area where we really must respect the Anne Frank Memorial and the existing facilities that were adjacent. It sits on the greenbelt. It's surrounded by trees and in a very park-like setting on one area, and on the other area, a lot of cars, and very urban, if you will. Again, much like the Marilyn Schuler Outdoor Classroom, the roof is lifted off of the walls so that all of the great dialogue and discussion can then go out into the world, figuratively.
And that's why understanding how nature works and what solutions it offers is so important. And that's what architects do.
We are conduits of knowledge, we are shapers of space, and we are performers with building materials.
If you want to learn more, head to the Science Trek website. You'll find facts, links, games, material for educators and parents, and much more. You'll find it all at sciencetrek.org.